Hey guys, I just want to sneak one more video in before 2020 is over. It's been a while, but I've been doing some things, just like everybody else. But I have been trying to stay in the Word like usual, um, and stay prayed up because we need it. We all need it. We need to end this year on a good note. But I don't want to make this video too long. So my group on Monday nights, we're doing a disciple study, and so we're each taking that topic, and then we find scriptures on the topic, and then that's how we teach each other and learn from each other. So I honestly normally look in the back of the Bible to kind of point me in the right direction. I'll look up the word, and then it'll give me a bunch of different scriptures, and I pick and choose. But I just happened to open my Bible. I think I was maybe reading this already, and I fell onto the scripture. It was just there, advice for disciples. So I was like, yay! I don't have to even search. But I'll be quick about this because it's good. And if you already know what I'm going to say and already have an idea, then fast forward, I guess. But it's in Luke 22:31. And I'll just read 31 through 34, and if it's not too much time, I'll go further to 38. So Luke 22:31 through 34. And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, who's Peter, behold, Satan hath desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. But I have prayed for thee, that thy faith fail not, and when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren. And he said unto him, Lord, I am ready to go with thee, both into prison and to death. And in verse 34, he said, I tell thee, Peter, the cock shall not crow this day. Before that thou shalt thrice deny that thou knowest me. And so we all know that Peter denies Jesus after that. So this is paint a picture, set a tone. This is at the Last Supper. I think before that, Jesus had them look for a place because it's Passover is happening at this time, and he found one of them found a place that they could have dinner. I think even before that, Jesus had washed their feet and all of that. And so Jesus, he's doing the whole breaking the bread, this is my body, take, eat, and drink. This is the cup, and this is going to be the new covenant. And then he drops the bomb. He says, one of y'all is going to deny me. And so that starts an argument amongst his disciples. They start arguing about who's going to deny him, and then quickly start arguing about who's going to kind of be the leader of the group after Jesus dies. So one can't help but feel bad for Jesus. I'm just saying, that's my thought is man, Jesus literally is trying just to prepare them, but also prepare himself for the cross. And this is literally his last meal. He's telling them, I'm not going to drink from the vine anymore. And he's just dropping hints this is it. And he's about to be executed, and they're arguing. And he's literally doing this with the person that's going to betray him sitting at the table. So just to set the tone, that's what's going on. And I was kind of wondering, why are they, first of all, arguing about who's going to be next in line, That's just rude. I think if anybody, I don't know, that's just rude. But then I realized it says, what verse was it? Verse 34. Nope. Verse 32. But I have prayed for thee that thy faith faileth not, and when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren. So Jesus, I think that they're not really truly converted yet. They don't really fully know who Jesus is at this time. They think he's one of the greatest prophets to ever live. And so I think they're arguing because with the greatest prophets, they always had a successor. So this is in the Old Covenant. So Moses, Aaron succeeded Moses. So he came after Moses, and Moses laid hands on him, the Holy Spirit fell or something like that. And then Elijah had Elisha, and then Eli and Samuel. So there's always some kind of successor. And I think what in their minds, in their old covenant minds, because the new covenant hadn't happened yet, Jesus hadn't died and raised again, they're thinking, one of us has to succeed him. So maybe that, I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt, because I'm that's just cold-blooded. They're just arguing. so that's the tone. And I think I had one point in that. Oh, and then before that, so Jesus, just to like kind of bring it down a little bit with the argument, he says, he lets him know like, why, pretty much like, why are you arguing about this? Y'all should be servants. And I can't remember the words he used, but he already said it before when he was washing their feet. Y'all need to be doing this, what I'm doing. I'm trying to show you what to do. He's the God, he's the Lord, he's the Christ, and he's washing their feet, trying to show them. And then he has to tell them like immediately, I don't know if it's the same day or what, but he has to tell them the same thing. He's telling them, you guys need to be servants. That's going to make you great. And also, like, no servant is greater than his master, and he's a master. So I'm not going to go too much into that because I can just keep going. So that's just the first point for discipleship. It involves serving one another, serving people. It just involves serving. That's number one. So I'm going to read verse 31 and 32 again. So, and the Lord said, Simon, Simon, behold, Satan hath desired to have you, that he may sift you like wheat. But I have prayed for thee, that thy faith fail not. And when thou art converted, strengthen thy brethren. So he already prayed. Jesus knew what was going to happen. He knew he was going to deny him. I think that really could have messed Peter up, and he could have like walked away forever. But Jesus already prayed for Satan, because Satan, the way I'm reading it, it's like he desired, like he was requesting, kind of like with what happened with Job. He requested to tempt, Peter in that way, and Jesus prayed for him. So that was my second and like maybe even third point, is like, we're supposed to strengthen our brethren, right? But we're all supposed to do that by prayer, because prayer works, and we know that. So we're not supposed to just encourage and all that stuff. We're supposed to strengthen, because we're constantly being tested. We're constantly being tested. And so we're supposed to strengthen each other, and we're supposed to do that with prayer. All right. Sorry if I'm speeding through this really quickly. My videos can become so long. I just, want to just speed it up. And then verse 33, and he said, so Peter said unto Jesus, Lord, I'm ready to go with thee, both into prison and death. So I think in Peter's mind, he really was serious about that, but, maybe not in his heart yet, because he didn't understand. I don't think he fully understood. And I think he had to go through that denial of Jesus, so he knew where his heart is. Because sometimes we have to, I think trials and tests just expose where we're actually at and what we need to work on. But I think it's still fascinating in that Peter knew the cost of discipleship. So in modern day, I don't think we know the actual cost of true discipleship, because everything seems so cushy now. Like discipling means, someone's studying the Bible with us, or, helping us with our gifts, which is cool. But there are literally different parts of the world. This may not be happening in America yet, but there's different parts of the world where people are being thrown into prison and dying because of being a disciple of Jesus. So even though Peter wasn't there yet in his heart or mind, he knew the true cost of discipleship. So I'll give him that. So I think I'm on point 4. So that's it. We need to know. As disciples, we need to fully understand the cost of discipleship and what that entails. Even though we may not be here in America up against persecution yet at that level, there's still some kind of cost, and we need to know that. And then 34, and he said, I tell thee, Peter, the cock shall not crow this day before thou hast denied me twice. Okay, so even as a disciple, we have to know that we are susceptible to failure. Like, we're still in the world. We're still in these body suits. We may have a great mind for Christ. We may have a great heart. We may be the best servant ever, but we have to know that we're still in a sinful world, and we still have sinful nature, and we're technically supposed to renew our minds every day, but we need to know we have an enemy, and the enemy is seeking whom he may devour. So we need to constantly be renewed, but know that we can fall, we can fail, but and I love that the Bible shows us so many different things. It shows us so many people that have messed up in so many different ways, adultery, murder, like all these crazy things that hopefully none of us have done. But Peter denies Jesus, and like, it's easy to be like, ooh, Peter, but like I feel like we do it all the time in subtle ways. We may not say, we may be secret Christians. I don't know. Like, I feel like we deny Jesus culturally and just, I don't know, in different ways. But I'm glad because Jesus prayed for him. He knew he was going to do it, and he still redeemed him. So that's a good point. Actually, let me read, because I think there's a little bit of time. I'm going to read 35 through 38. So, and he said unto them, this is Jesus talking, when I sent you without a purse and a script and shoes, lacked ye anything? And they said, nothing. All right. So then said he unto them, but now he that hath a purse, let him take it, and likewise his script, that he that hath no sword, let him sell his garment and buy one. And then verse 37, for I say unto you that this is that is written, must ye be accomplished in me. And he that reckoned among the transgressors, for the things concerning me have an end. In verse 38, and they said, Lord, behold, here are 2 swords. And he said unto them, it is enough. So this part kind of confused me. I just want to throw it in because, I'm still looking for answers, because I was like, okay, so first he sent them out to make, I think he was sending them out into like different villages and cities to set a tone for him and clear the way, like John was doing in the wilderness. So Jesus could go into that town, and they already had prepared a way, but also I think to make disciples. So he told them to take nothing with them, no money. I don't even think he said like no shoes. I don't know. But then he tells them, take that stuff with you, and it's 2 swords. And I thought it was kind of ironic because like right after that, Peter chopped off someone's ear, and I was like, this might not have been a good idea. I don't know who said it, but they said they're like 2 swords, and yeah. Maybe not, but he said that's enough. But this just tells me, I still have a lot of questions about that, but tells me that we're supposed to go out into the world. We're supposed to go disciple. And I know people are like, duh, but do we actually do that? Or do we hang out in Bible studies with people that are already converted, people that are already going to church, people that are already Christians? Are we going into our schools, our work? Are we going into the streets? Are we going Wawa? Like, are we going different places and just doing that, discipling, like evangelizing, building these relationships? So he's saying, go out and do this. They didn't sit around in a club, well, not like a club like we know modern day, like a club like they're a band of brothers, like their friendship. They went out and continued to disciple. So that's what we know. So those are my 4 points. Discipleship involves serving, so we saw that. It also involves strengthening our brothers through prayer. So we strengthen each other through prayer. And then we need to know the cost of discipleship, and that involves sacrifice. And then and Peter shows us this many times, even when we fail, even when we mess up as a disciple, he still wants to welcome us back in. He will forgive us. So that's good. That's all I got. And I'm at 14 minutes, but that's okay. Y'all be blessed. And if I don't make another video, see you next year.